everybody. Welcome back to the Bullhucker podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
And I'm Adam Boki.
And we have a guest today, the Assistant City Administrator. I knew that. Rick Keuroglian. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's cold in this theater, isn't it?
It is cold. Colder than I thought.
We used to tease Rick because he's from Georgia, Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he moved here and it had snow here and cold weather. So that was
The first.
Really?
Well, not really, but
but the cold wasn't near normal.
The cold in the east is different. You got the humidity, so 20 degrees is really cold to us.
Really?
And coming out here, it's dry, so it doesn't feel. But last year I think it got down to like minus 15. So I've never felt that before. So it was
really?
cold.
Yeah, that's a little chilly. That's Colorado though. It's not too bad.
Yeah, but I see guys in T-shirts shoveling snow.
Yeah,
so I'm
dude.
like, okay.
Yeah. I'm normally one of those guys. You're not going to be out there long, so.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is everybody's got that one friend from Colorado who wears shorts all year long.
Yeah.
Coleman was ours, right?
Yep.
Joe Coleman worked at Budweiser, wore shorts. If there was 3 feet of snow outside, he wore shorts. And I'm like, why, dude? Why? Who are you trying to impress?
When I worked there, my rule of thumb was I'd wear shorts as long as the high would be above 20.
Oh, wow.
If it was going to be below 20, I was like, okay, we'll put on the pants.
When it gets cold or hot, I start stripping or start bundling up. I don't mess around. I'm not trying to impress anybody, so I'm a big wuss. So, but hey, if you're new to the Bullhucker, what we're going to do today is the Bullhucker is a podcast where we bring on a guest. They tell 3 stories about their life. Now, the kicker is only 2 of these stories are true. One is what we call the Bullhucker. It's a lie, a fib, or just not your story. So, Rick, the one that's not true, is it borrowed? Is it made up? Or why is it not true?
It is a partial truth.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's enough that I know tons of details as if it was true.
All right, those are the best kind. It makes it tougher, which is fun. So, okay. Also, if you're on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe. You can hit a little red button. There's a little red circle on the right bottom hand corner. Go ahead and hit that to subscribe to the podcast. Or at the end of the podcast, at the very end credits, you'll see a little wooden barrel. You just click on that; it'll subscribe for you. If you're listening to this on iTunes, Stitcher, whatever podcast platform you're on, please leave a rating and review. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Let us know if you want to change something. We're going to completely ignore your request, but at least let us know we're thinking about us. So,
I'll be all, hey, Moose, did you see that so-and-so said, yeah, fuck them. That's exactly how it's going to go. This is Daddy's podcast. This is how we're going to do it.
I saw it. It's crap. All his ideas were crap. So, but seriously,
Thanks for the input.
Yeah, please subscribe though. So, and also thank you to the Sands Theater. Sands Theater, very old historic theater here in Brush, Colorado. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for letting us do it here at the Sands Theater. They've been so awesome about it, very supportive. So, eventually, we'll get the Sands Theater up and running again. Maybe have some live shows in here, some movies or whatever. So please, when that you see or we let you know the Sands is back open, please make sure you come out here and support them, man. So, good thing. And Rick's actually, that's kind of up your alley, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely been working behind the scenes,
Right.
trying to get permits together and contractors lined up and trying to get this place turned back.
Rick's our bulldog at the City of Brush now, so that's
Everybody needs one of those.
we send the Keuroglian. Right? It sounds like something would attack, like Johnny Depp on a ship. What's what I'm thinking of?
It's like that cat in Wonder Woman.
Pirates of the Caribbean. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah, good.
Captain, it's the Keuroglian. It's a great name, dude. Whatever. So, Rick, are you ready to tell some stories?
I'm ready.
Okay, Adam, you want to read them off?
Okay, we've got sweepstakes, squirt gun, and superfly.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. So, all right, man. I'll let you. Is that from the what's that from the sports? Boo, 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 boo. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Did you bring notes?
Maybe.
Nerd. Okay. Okay. Adam, pick a story.
I'm going to go with squirt gun.
All right. So we want me to tell the story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So in any of my stories, I'm just going to use first names. So just using first names, and I'll try to remember as much detail as I can. So
you can change the names. We do it all the time on the podcast.
Okay, cool.
And if you do happen to spit out a real name, just tell me. We'll bleep her out.
All right. So back in college, one of those times, I just came back from a summer in Daytona Beach, having a blast. It was kind of like a leadership conference, spent all summer there. And coming back home, trying to reconnect with friends. And so I had a small pickup truck back then, a Mitsubishi Mighty Max truck. So we were all decided I'm gonna pick up some friends at Furman University, and we're gonna go, grab our squirt guns and go to a field and just have fun, kind of like a capture the flag kind of thing.
Okay.
Well, I decided I was gonna pick up everybody. The truck can't hold a lot, but got about 6 friends in the back.
What kind of truck is
It's
it?
a Mitsubishi Mighty Max.
So how big
So
is
out
that?
of his 6 friends, 4 of them were walking.
So we're just crammed in there, right?
Okay.
Okay. So on the way, on the backside of Furman, it's really windy. And so the roads kind of turn, go up and down, side to side. And so as we're driving, all of a sudden my friends decide, let's squirt cars. So they're in the back squirting cars as we're going around.
Oh,
As
no.
cars were approaching us. And we went up this one hill, and they were ready squirting. Happened to be a police car. Started squirting the police car, went all of the windshield, and all of a sudden the lights come on, the sirens go, and I freak out. So I slammed on the gas. And I turn immediately into a neighborhood, and I go right, left. I mean, I'm just getting lost in this neighborhood, getting it as fast as I can. And I slowed down, and I saw a house with a front garage wide open, no cars. So I immediately pull in, jump out, and hit the button to make the garage door go.
Just a strange garage. You don't know who lives there.
I don't know who it is.
Just a random garage. Hey, that looks like it'll work.
You've seen too many Batman shows. That's what it is.
And so we waited about 30, 40 minutes and then went back to the field and had a good time.
They never caught you.
Never caught me.
Did you ever see a cop at all?
Nope.
Wow.
So I got away. First time I ran from the police.
Really?
First
First
and only, or just the first?
Yeah. That's,
First and only.
okay. First and only.
Wink, wink.
This is the Bullhucker.
We can
already.
go with that.
When I lived in Puebla, I had a buddy, Mike Woodrick, rest his soul. And we worked at a little bar. I worked at a nightclub bartending, and on our days off, we worked at this little hotel bar, right? I meet this girl, Aubrey, and her and I, she's friends with Mike. That's how we meet each other. I don't realize Mike's been drinking heavily all night, and he's driving because his wife's out of town. So he just said, we're out dancing, so he's drinking. So we got to take her back, and this is back in Pueblo, down Northern Avenue. And it's got like this big median and then nice grass on the side. So I'm kind of, I'm talking to her. I don't care about Mike, he's my boy, but I don't care about him. So we drop her off. He keeps it together. And as we pull back on Northern to take me home, he hits the median, swerves over to the side. So dangerous. And then I realize, are you hammered? Are you drunk right now? So it's funny. He had an old, it was a Chevy, what was the equivalent of the Bronco? The
Blazer,
maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a Blazer.
It's huge Chevy. So same thing, Rick. He starts darting through these, all these neighborhoods, and we just lay down in the back, just lay down, like the cops aren't going to look into the. They like, hey, hey, you two having fun? So this reminded me when he said that. And then I said, that's it. I'm going to drive. But I'd had a few beers too, which I'm not proud of that to say. So when we woke up, the Blazer was still kind of stuck out in traffic. That's how I parked it. So that's yeah.
And it was a dead giveaway for an officer.
Pretty much. It was his Blazer, so I didn't carry it. I'll just leave. So, what do you think about that story? His story, not my story.
Well, yours was okay.
Okay.
I liked it. It was good. I like the part about just parking in some random person's garage. That's awesome.
How many guys were in the Mighty Max?
I think it was about 6.
Nobody actually came down from the house and.
No, there was no cars, and we took a gamble.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
I mean, it could have got ugly.
What do you think?
I mean, if I saw someone running outside the house garage door, we would have been in trouble.
Well,
we would have tried to get out as fast as we can.
Well, yeah, Rick, because they probably have a real gun, not a squirt gun.
Right. And you're in Georgia. So
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uneventful. Nothing happened.
All right. I like the story, but I need to hear it too, kind of to do a contrast. That's tough. So, all right, you pick squirt gun. The one I really want to hear, since we talked about it earlier, I'm going to save to the last.
Okay.
So I'm going to pick sweepstakes.
Okay. Sounds good. So this one goes back in my life early on in marriage. Okay. So we are kind of newlyweds, and a friend of mine named Bob came up to me and, he's an older guy, kind of like a mentor. And he's like, I like you. Do you guys ever go on vacations? And I'm like, that's kind of an odd question.
Right.
Sure, once in a while. He's like, well, you really need to, to take your wife on vacations. It's really important. And so I'm like, okay, whatever.
Right.
And then he says, I've been going like 2 vacations a year for the last 10 years. Do you want me to tell you how I've been doing this? So I was like, okay, no problem.
So
he pulls out this binder and he's like, I want to show you something. So he pulls out this binder and he starts walking through each page. Oh, I won this in a sweepstakes. I won this in a sweepstakes. And I won this. I won, a place to Colorado and California. And he just, Italy, and just goes off on all these trips that he had won.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, are you interested? And I was like, is this a scam? Are you trying to, a pyramid scam or something like
Is
this?
there a timeshare involved?
Yes, I know. And I was like, I was just waiting on this.
Because he's going to tell you that, Rick.
He's
right?
gonna,
Like,
yes, he's going to be my sensei and teach me this kind of stuff.
You got us. It is a scam. So, gosh.
So he starts walking me through, all these trips. And he says, are you interested in learning how I won in the sweepstakes? And so I'm kind of curious. So I'm still waiting for him to kind of like, you got to sign up for this thing, this pyramid thing. So he's like, no, all I do is I subscribe to Sweep Sheets. It's a subscription of all your sweepstakes that are in a regional area. So I was like, okay, I'm interested. It was only probably $10 to join the subscription, and then it's very specified of each subscription. Or each sweepstakes. So it may say you have to submit a 3x5 index card with your name, address, and stuff like that. So each one was a little different. He goes, most people don't read it. They just, enter something. He said, but if you enter it exactly, you may have a chance. Because a lot of these things get thrown out.
But what year is this?
2005.
Okay.
Ish, somewhere around there. It was early on in our marriage.
Okay.
And so I was asking him, like, how often do you do this? He said, I do it every day. And so he allotted about $200 a month. Well, I couldn't afford that.
Right.
So I decided we'll start with $50 a month. So I'm going to put $50 towards stamps, and I am going to religiously fill this out for a few months to see what happens.
Right.
So I did it for a few months. And, of course, if you don't win anything, most people, kind of bail, forget this. So I went and I kind of looked at the ones that I thought were the easiest ones to win. You look at the boundaries of how far this sweepstakes goes, and I found one that was just really in the town that we're in. It was Greenwood, and it was for a car. So I was gonna, kind of see if I can win a car. Well, 6 months later, guess what? I won a car, a 2005 Pontiac Bonneville.
I was going to hope you say a Mitsubishi Max. I'm like, it's a big story.
It's kind of like a grandma's car, but it was brand new.
What was it?
A Pontiac Bonneville.
That's awesome.
A silver Pontiac Bonneville. And you would think, okay, but so, yeah, I won. And then a year later, we do it again, and we won. Well, I won a 2006 purple Harley Davidson Fat Boy.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Wow.
Yep.
Do you still have it?
No.
You sold it?
Sold it.
Did you have kids and sell it?
Mm-mm. Just wanted the money.
Oh, okay. That happened to a buddy of ours. We worked for Budweiser. Mark Sparky, remember that? He won that Harley Davidson.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. I don't remember that.
Before you showed up, Budweiser was very good about that. Like once a year, they would give away a vehicle to an employer, to a salesman, and Mark Rudel had won the Harley, a purple Harley, actually.
Purple Harley.
Yeah. And then his second son showed up. His wife said, hey, guess what? We're going to have a second one. He's like, okay. And she's like, so we need money. So
yeah, that's always happens.
So, yeah, he ended up having to sell that Harley. But, yeah, that's crazy because Harleys are what? I mean, they're brand new.
Oh, they're
30.
Not cheap.
Yeah, this one was like 25 at the time.
That was back then.
Mm-hmm.
What would it be now?
I don't know. Harleys are kind of on the down low, though. Millennials aren't driving them.
You know, I've heard that, actually. They're not big on those. They're not.
Yeah. Their sales have dropped.
They have the crotch rockets.
Yeah. Or they just don't. I think motorcycles are more of an older generation now.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I was actually looking, this was a few years ago, at a Harley, one of the trikes.
Yeah.
Because if I get a Harley, it's going to have 3 wheels, not 2.
Right.
Because speed and balance are 2 things I am not good at.
Yeah.
And so that thing was probably, I think it was like 37, 42. It was, it was
Chrome.
insane. It was so nice. But I was like, holy shit.
But it's a
40
trike.
grand?
Trikes are stupid
Right.
expensive unless they do the kits. Then they're a
Right,
little
the
cheaper. But
conversions,
yeah,
but
the conversion
this
kits.
This was pretty nice, but until I saw that price tag, I was like, I'm good.
So did you ever drive the Harley or no? You just sold it right away?
I mean, immediately turned it over and sold it.
Wow. Well,
So did you have to pay like taxes and all that
You
stuff?
pay
on those?
taxes. You pay taxes when you buy, and then you have to put it on your income tax too as winnings, and
Ooh.
it's even more expensive.
So they just take it to you.
Oh yeah.
It's like overtime.
Hey, but it's free. It's
Yeah,
free
no.
money.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like, I'll take it.
Right. Because there's a friend of mine that won the KBPI, always gives away the rock station there in Denver. It's called the Metal Militia or something like that. And they get a vehicle or something and let the listeners say what kind of wheels and tires. They'll like give choices on the website. And then, so they did a side-by-side, a Polaris Razor one time. And it had like, the big tires and the off-road package, extra suspensions and sound. And it was probably about a $35,000 Razor. And then a friend of mine won it.
Wow.
And then when she found out she had to pay all the taxes and license and blah, 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 she ended up selling it because there's no way she could afford it at the time. But, yeah, so that's why I was kind of wondering if it was the same thing in like a sweepstakes.
Yeah.
It's like,
So did you continue to play that sweepstakes after that for a while or no?
That was it.
You called it quits after that. You won 2 vehicles.
I
and
won
said
2,
enough.
and that was enough.
Wow.
he was going for vacations, not vehicles.
Well, we just moved around a lot, and then you get jobs, and you don't have time anymore, and that's kind of what happened.
Did you ever try on those? Have you ever fell for a pyramid scam?
Mm-mm.
No, Adam.
I sold Amway for a while
No, I kind of.
when I lived in Kansas.
How'd that go?
Not well.
Did you ever actually? What is Amway? I've
It's
heard of it.
products.
Yeah, it's like household cleaning products
Oh.
and stuff, and then they're like incorporated or attached to
You
other.
try to get someone else to be on your team, and then you get a percentage of his, and then
It's
so
a
the more
pyramid
the
scheme,
more
yeah.
people you get underneath, you get percentage of theirs.
1353, dude. That's the way you become a millionaire.
1353.
Yeah, you start and then you sign up 3 people, and then they all sign up 5, and then those 5 all sign up 3, and then you end up having like you're supposed to be getting like these
It works perfect.
hundreds of thousands of dollars a month.
When I was in high school, right after high school, I worked at this Wendy's out here, and I can't remember the friend who brought it to me, but they were phone cards. You'd buy
Oh, yeah.
that. Remember that scam?
Yep.
And I like you just said, it made me laugh. The numbers are exactly the same. It was $200 to join in, but I only had to sell it to like 3 or 4 people, whatever it was. And I'm like, easy, So I pulled $200, and this is back in 1994. So I think I was making $6.55 an hour or something. You know what I mean? Like whatever it was back in 1994.
Right.
As
So-
the shift manager.
Yeah. So $200 was a load of cash. That was, So, so I ended up just not doing anything with it. I try to get people to join in, and so that's $200 I never saw again. But I did get one phone card for it. So
You did. You actually sold one.
yeah. Back when they had phone cards. If you're young, by the way, phone cards was something you had to dial into a phone to use it, right?
Yep.
So
Yep, I had one.
really?
Yeah. I used to use them all the time.
Oh, really? For like long distance.
Yeah. Family, friends.
And then you should have sold your stuff to him.
I
dude.
would have bought you. I would have bought it.
If I'd known, man. I don't know. Anybody seen that dude in that Pontiac to drive around here? A family car he's all proud of,
I'm looking for a silver Bonneville.
Yeah.
Or a purple Harley.
Actually, and back then I drove a Pontiac as well too.
You did?
A Grand Am, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
But I picked it out. I bought it like on
yeah.
purpose. That's
that
the
had
difference
a nice
between you
engine.
and I. No.
I had a Grand Am too.
Really?
Yeah.
No, the Grand Prix was their better one, wasn't it?
Grand Prix was the nicer one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have had a Grand Prix. I don't know. It was brown. We called it the Taco Rocket. It was actually my sister's car. It was hers, and then she bought a new car, and I was driving this POS something, and so I ended up with her car
Why'd you call it the Taco Rocket?
because it was brown, dude.
Oh,
There's
I
other
guess
things
that's
that
what
come to
that's
mind.
what my sister named it. I don't know.
I've never seen tacos that are brown, but I'm the insides. But
Right, the inside of it's brown. I don't
Taco
know.
meat.
Yeah.
That's what they called it.
I would have called it the shit rocket. Right? Nice. Okay. All right. What do you think about that one,
The
man?
pooper trooper.
Trooper. My buddy Adrian's going to be on. He used to work at that Wendy's as well. And he used to drive his dad's pickup sometimes, but it was his farm pickup.
Mm-hmm.
So it had like all the shovel and the rake and
The
all
pitchfork
Yeah,
and the-
yeah, exactly. So we used to call it the vampire hunter.
Oh,
Right? Yeah. So yeah, your first car. What was your first car, Rick?
a Buick Skylark,
No, that's all right though. What year?
1981.
1981 Buick
It was
Skylark.
nothing nice.
What color?
White with a blue velvet interior,
Wow.
just like a bench seat. AM radio only.
Wow.
No power steering. You could hold it and it would do a donut.
Really?
It was terrible. Terrible.
Did you buy it though?
I was forced to buy it from my grandmother
What do you mean forced?
because my mom, she was like, my grandmother was at the age where she had to stop driving. And
Okay.
so she's like, you're going to buy her car. And I was like, I have my mind on a CRX. And she's like, nope, you're going to buy grandma's car. And I had to buy it.
Also, I wanted a CRX. That's so weird,
Yeah.
man. It really is. With the little flat end,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, the
Yep.
back. Yeah. That was the car I
Yeah.
thought was just the greatest. And what was the other one?
Honda Prelude.
No, it was
There was another car I used to like.
a Prelude. I wanted a Tracker also. I thought a Geo
Geotrack. Oh, yeah.
I thought that would be the greatest thing ever. Oh my God. Thank you, Jesus, for never sending one of those into my life.
I wanted a Ford Probe.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I really wanted a Mustang, but I was like, yeah, Probe will work.
That was my first car. It was an 81 Mustang.
That's nice.
Well, no, because it was the ugly Mustang.
was the
Like,
ugly
there for like
one.
4 or 5
Yeah.
years, they just didn't give a
From like
shit.
81 to 84, those things were hideous.
They were. It had spoke hubcaps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then the passenger right front one always popped off just in the middle of the drive. Like I remember going down Eaton Street one day, and there's a kid on a bike, and it just popped off, and it's like heat-seeking missile, like ding 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 ding. That kid started. I was like, it wasn't on me, dude.
Wow.
You know, like a weird Batmobile. Hubcap, go! You know. Yeah.
Special
so
power.
It was a special power. It was an ugly car though. So
My first vehicle was a 71 Volkswagen Super Beetle.
Oh, yeah.
It was orange with a black luggage rack and a black bra.
Oh, yeah.
We called it the Beast.
The beast.
yeah, my Grand Prix had a bra on it too, and I thought that was Grand Am, and I thought that was a good idea. You know, because it looks slick, and then until you take the bra off, and it's the color the car was when you bought it, and
Yeah.
then the rest of the car.
And
is
then
Oh,
shit.
the reason why this one had a bra is because it had body damage that they just filled in with Bondo and then covered it up.
Covered it up.
They didn't even paint it. You take the bra off, it was like all white and
Oh, wow.
cream colored.
Nice.
So
Nice.
$400 is what we paid for it.
All right. So, what do you think about that story? Yeah.
I like that. I'd like to win a purple Harley.
What are the taxes back there on that? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Probably remember. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
just stupid
Jeez.
expensive. I have to ask Sparky what he paid for it because he kept it for a while. He had his Harley for probably about a year, I'd say. For Owen decided to show up. You know, Owen. All right, one more story, man.
All right. The grand finale.
Superfly.
Superfly. So this goes back to middle school. So my neighbor across the street, his name was Jimmy. He was a husky kid. And
God bless all the husky kids.
Husky.
Right?
They mean well.
They mean well. And so once in a while, Jimmy would invite me over to his house, and we'd watch WWF wrestling. And it was a highlight. That's what we both love wrestling. Like we talked about earlier, Jimmy the Superfly Snuka and Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
Roddy Piper, Andre the Giant,
The Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior,
Sting.
Sting. That's right. So we were obsessed with it.
George the Animal Steel.
Yeah, that's right. Junkyard Dog.
Yes.
Coco Beware.
Wow.
I mean, they all flood our minds now.
Yeah.
And so, but one night we're watching it, and I looked around and said, "Jimmy, what you want to be when you grow up?" He said, "I'm going to be a wrestler." And I said, "No way." I said, "You know what? I can teach you. I can be your trainer, and we can start today." And he said, "All right." I said, "So what do you want to learn?" He goes, "I want to do the Superfly dive, like Jimmy the Superfly Snuka." I said, "Okay, I can teach you. That's no problem." So we went over to my house, right beside my house. There's a little hill, about 2 foot, 3 foot hill. So, not as tall as the stage here.
Mm-hmm.
I said, all you got to do is just kind of fall off of it. It's real easy. We'll just kind of start right here, and we'll just. So I'm in middle school, and he's 2 years younger than me, so he's in elementary school, and so he stands on the hill and just kind of flops over and starts yelling, "Oh, that hurt! My chest hurts!" And then I was like, "Well, you got to do it again." So he does it again, over and over and over, and he's kind of complaining. I'm like, "You got to build up your abs. It takes a while. No pain, no gain, kind of stuff." But all of a sudden, my brother starts doing it. And I was like, no, gosh, if he gets hurt, I'm going to get hurt.
Older or younger?
Younger.
Okay.
And my younger brother's like, oh, this looks fun. So he started doing it. And then I kind of get him to stop. Just let Jimmy do this. So Jimmy's on that little hill, jumping off, diving off. Well, it gets to the point where he's having fun with it. He's jumping off of it, doing the splash. And so I'm thinking to myself, I got to do something else. We're going to have to progress. So I get him on the chain link fence. So, which is a little bit taller than this. I think it's 48 inches, 4 feet. So I get him on the chain link fence. I hold his hand, and he's bouncing on it. And I'm like, just it's grass. I mean, what's the big deal? We're just gonna. You gotta to be Jimmy Superfly Snooker. You're gonna have to learn how to balance on the top rope, and you're gonna have to do a dive. So he gets up there and just kind of dives off, and hits the ground. And start screaming. and I'm looking around. No one sees anything. And he's screaming, rolling around like, oh, my chest hurts. Oh, my chest. So I'm like, get up there again. So he gets up there and
he gets back up
on the fence.
I don't want to.
He's got internal bleeding. And Rick's like, you know what? Rub some dirt on it.
That's right.
Welcome to the 80s.
So he's standing on there bouncing, and he does it again. Oh, he's screaming loud, and so get him up on the. So we were about to progress to the next stage, which is a 6 foot wall. So it was like we got the hill, the fence, the wall's next. So he's standing on there. This is the third time he's getting ready to jump, and all of a sudden the window comes up, and his grandmother looks out the window and starts screaming, "What are you stupid guys doing? You bunch of idiots! Get off that fence!" So she comes running outside, takes Jimmy's shirt off. And it's all purple.
Oh, no.
And he's still kind of like, Mom, I'm okay. He called her Mama. Mama, I'm fine. This is okay. We'll be okay. And so she takes him to the hospital, wants to get him checked out, and he had cracked some ribs.
Oh, no.
So I wasn't allowed to hang out with Jimmy for months.
The Keuroglian. Or Jimmy.
Poor little Jimmy. But Jimmy was going to be the Superfly one day.
What happened to Jimmy, do you know?
I moved.
Oh.
So he's in Maryland. Moved away. We kind of reconnected, and I thought he was going to kill me. But he did. He remembers.
Really? I had a story I told about almost killing somebody with X-Lax. A guy who was younger than me, and him and I work together now. So we laugh about it now. So you might be okay with Jimmy,
Yeah.
It was on your episode, number 25, that I tell the story about Boy Scouts and how I was asked to leave Boy Scouts. And, but now him and I work together. We laugh about it all the time.
Was it X-Lax brownies?
No, it was a bar, the chocolate bar of X-Lax. I thought the whole bar was one dose, and it turns out every little bar is a dose. And
Every little square.
Yeah, he probably weighed 65 pounds soaking wet, so he had no business eating 12 or whatever, however many doses it is. So yeah, he could, but he had a little fun parlor trick after that. He could turn anything into a juice. So yeah, so this guy used to wrestle, actually.
Yeah, for a while, about a year and a half or so.
Are you looking for a trainer?
No, I know how to do that stuff. I don't need your help.
What was the splash? Remind me. How did it go?
It was just like you get up, they like almost like bunch up, and then they like put their arms like straight up, like a starfish almost.
I could never watch TV in the living room because that's where my grandmother and mother were. So I'd have to go beg my grandfather because he'd sit in the kitchen and smoke and watch TV on a little 13-inch TV screen, And I'd watch wrestling I think it was Monday nights, right? Anyway, he would sit there and ruin it for me every time. He thought it was hilarious. He's like, this is fake, right? I'm like, it's not fake,
No,
Grandpa.
it's not.
Fake, Grandpa. He's like, the guy in the white panties who's been getting beat up this whole time is going to win this match. He's going to come back and win. He obviously.
It's like the hand goes up and it falls down.
Yeah, the
And then
Hulk
the third time,
yeah.
starts shaking.
And he'd tell me, Larry, that would kill somebody. That would literally kill you if you did that to somebody. I'm like, it's real, Grandpa. It's real. And he's like,
the pole driver.
he had a hard day at work, and I'll go home and see if I make the little fat one cry. That's what That's what he would do. So, all right. You know what? Can I ask you for one more story?
Yeah.
That's not.
Oh, well, you want me to tell another story?
Well, here, I'm going to ask you for a
Okay.
story. You told me at CML,
Mhm.
if you don't mind telling you, about the break-in at your house.
Okay.
I was
okay.
wondering if that story come up. So,
No, I mean, I've got lots of these stories. That's why I was like, should I say that one? Or should I tell you the one I stole $10,000 worth of comic books? Should I?
okay, you know what? Here's the deal. We're only at 30 minutes right now, so we're gonna give me one more story, just a bonus story. Can I have a bonus story?
Which one do you want?
Which one do you want?
I kind of want the comic book
So I was
heist.
like, this was a good one too.
$10,000 in comics.
Yep. So, in high school, I moved into a new area. Parents divorced. We weren't bad kids. I would say we were like kind of sheltered kids. Parents kind of sheltered us from people. So when they split up, we go to a new school, and I get in wrong with the wrong crowd, and it kind of all started. This is how it progressed so quickly. Got in with some friends. We would go get gas, and he would teach me intentionally how to get free gas. So you would pay for it and then go back and pour a little bit more. And that's kind of how this kind of like, ooh, that was bad. Like we're bad kids now.
Right.
So we started off getting free gas, or just a little bit. And then he's like, hey, I know this guy that I can teach you this sleight of hand trick. And then you can go in there and steal some stuff. And, we can make a lot of money trading off this stuff. So it's basically like, if you're wanting to steal this phone, the trick was you put something over it and then get him distracted, and then you take it away. Just to slide it, like you don't even see it. You don't even notice it if you do it fast enough.
Right.
He taught me the trick. So he's like, I want you to go practice, see if you can do it. Here's an old man. He has a comic book store, and see what you can do.
Hey, Adam, keep track of everything on this table when they're released. Okay?
This is in high school.
okay.
And so all of a sudden, we go to this comic book store. This guy, he's really old. And I'll tell you the whole thing, too, how it ends. So I get him to show me some expensive comic books, like Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man #1.
Oh, wow.
So I got that one. I got a bunch of these old X-Men and everything else. So he lays them out, and I start shuffling them around. He doesn't know which one's which anymore, and then I do my trick, and then I take some, and then I shuffle around, leave some, so he never notices, except that I left a couple of my comic books that I brought in. I left them there.
Nice.
So I get about 10,000 at least worth of comic books, and I'm running back to the car fast. Not really running, but trying to get away. So I get out, and all of a sudden he comes out saying, "You left comic books. I want to give your comic books back."
What a nice old man.
So he gives them to me in the car. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I was busted.
Right.
And then years later, years go by, and all of a sudden a friend of mine is spending the night. We're camping out in the woods, and he starts sharing about God to me. And so I'm in a tent with this guy telling me about God. And he starts telling me about stuff, like you can repent and turn your life to God. Is there anything in your past that you'd want to repent of?
I kicked Jimmy's ass to the fence.
And I'm now frozen, petrified, scared to death. And he convinces me to go bring those comic books back to that guy.
Wow.
So it's been years. And so we go back to the store, and the store is closed down. Like it's no longer in business. So I walk away. He's like, no, let's go see if we can track him down. So his mom worked at the post office. She goes and finds out his name, who was the former owner, and then finds where he lives because she can look it up at the post office.
Right.
So then we go to his house. I was scared to death of like, that's a felony.
Right. Well,
I'm going to get in super trouble.
Yeah.
So we take the comic books to his house. I knock on the door. I see cars outside. I knock on the door. Nobody answers. And I run back to the car. All right, let's go. And he says, nope, let's try it again. So we go back and knock on the door, and he comes to the door. An old man, he's in his 80s. He says, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm here to give you something that I did to you years ago, and I'm really sorry, and I want to make amends. I want to turn over that bad situation in my life and give these back to you. He's like, give what? And I was like, I stole some comic books from you, and I'm really sorry. And he goes, hey, honey, bring me my phone. I want to call the police. And I'm like, I'm ready to cry. I'm petrified.
Right.
And so he calls the police, and he's giving like a description. This young kid has come to my house. He stole comic books from me, and he's going through details. And I'm like frozen, like a deer in headlights. And then all of a sudden he hangs up. And he said, I changed my mind. and I'm kind of stunned. He said, I've done some really bad things in my life too. And I know kids have stolen comic books from me, all the time. But you're the first one that ever brought them back.
Oh, wow.
And then he said, you know what? I'm going to give them back to you as a reminder of God's goodness and his forgiveness.
Seriously.
Your guilt no longer remains. They're yours as a reminder of him. And I'm stunned.
And then he looks at him and goes, oh, wait, never mind. I'm just going to keep these.
Oh, this is the one I lost. That's why I had to shut down shop. This is the one
That's what I was thinking, too.
Yeah.
So you still have those comics?
No, I got rid of them.
With the Harley?
Yeah,
No.
put them in the saddlebag.
No, I got rid of them.
Really? You know what a Spectacular Spider-Man #1's probably worth now?
Nope.
Stupid amounts of money.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Did you watch that show, Comic Book Man, on AMC?
Mm-mm.
It's Kevin Smith. Do you know Kevin Smith?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He owns a comic book store, Bill and Jay and Silent Bob's Comics in New Jersey. And it's a show where people come in and try, they bring in their old toys, their old comics and stuff. And some of the prices on that stuff is just...
Well, the most expensive is the Amazing Spider-Man. That's the one that's worth the most.
Is that the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then there came later Spectacular, and there came some others.
Right.
But
right.
that was the one I was trying to get, but he didn't have it.
Oh my God, that'd be... It's like the original Superman, the Action Comics is worth $2.3 million or something. That's what it sold for.
My dad has a Superman comic book from when he was a kid.
Wow.
From like the 50s, early 60s.
Really?
Is it in good condition?
Last time I saw it, it was. I mean, it wasn't mint, but it was still in pretty decent shape. But
you might look into it, man.
Yeah.
Patty's dad, this isn't comic books, Patty's dad was the head of security for the Atlanta Braves, and for years and years and years. And he's got a bunch of baseballs, all kinds of stuff, just autographed by
Chipper Jones?
Chipper
Yeah,
Jones.
okay. I don't watch
Braves.
baseball. Yeah. That's a pretty big deal, I guess.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
He's a legend.
Yeah, so he's got all this stuff. And I told her, like, when your old man passes, you realize you and your sister and brother are probably sitting on...
A goal line.
of just collectibles, just insane. So you heard about Ed Goff, right? What happened with the Bronco game?
Oh, yeah, the Manning jersey.
Do you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lance told me about it.
Yeah, that's my buddy. Because he had texted me because I was at that game. He says, hey, are you here?
Oh, wow.
I go, yeah. He goes, well, these two seats in the front row have been empty all day. And I go, halftime, we'll head down there. So I head down there. I can't find Ed. Well, because, Peyton Manning's jersey, and he had signed it. That's the jersey that was signed when he got put into the Ring of Fame.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, somebody already offered him like $10,000 for it or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, because Peyton Manning said, get me a jersey from someone in the crowd. And they went to some guy, and he goes, no, the big guy. Get the big guy's jersey, so it would fit him, Because Peyton's not been working out. Let's not BS each other.
Right.
So he came back, signed it. The news crew, people from the news pulled him outside to interview him, and that's when he took off. Because guys around him were like, we got to kick your ass and take that jersey. Ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, yeah, you better go home, man. So
What was funny is after that there was like something on one of the Facebook pages. So my sister shares it to the little group chat that I have with me and my mom and stepdad and my sister, so the 4 of us. She's like, "How cool would this be?" I'm like, "I know him. He's from here."
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's good for him though, man. So, but once again, in a couple of years, he can probably sell it and send his boy to college. You know, so
Yep.
or with $50,000 at least pay for the books. Ridiculous. So, well, here's what we do, Rick.
Okay.
We have to know to decide or try and guess which one of your stories is not true. It's partly made up. So we rock, paper, scissors, okay, to see who has to guess first. Now, Rick, how do you rock, paper, scissors? Do you do 3 or 4 pumps? Do you
3. 1, 2, 3 in each show.
1, 2, 3, then go?
Yep.
Okay, he's a 4 pumper. Horrible. I'm a 3 pumper. I go boom, boom, and show.
Okay.
So that's been a thing we've done on the podcast where he's a 4 pumper. We didn't realize we were doing the same for a long time. So he was kicking my ass because he was rock every time because he was still ready to go for one more pump, and I'm like, oh, you got me. So
I was killing him, and I was still playing, and I was like, wait, he stopped? Okay, I guess I'm rock.
Okay, so 4 pumps, right?
Yep.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Shoot. All right.
I almost went paper again. I was like,
Larry wins
Quadruple overtime. My friend Dencia covers for him when he's not here. I had to tell her why. She's like, I've never beat you. I'm like, you always pick paper. And she sat there and goes, did you go back to the episodes? Dencia, you always pick paper. So the fact it's taking me twice to beat you sometimes is just pathetic on my half. So, all right, Nate, what do we got for stories?
We have sweepstakes, squirt gun, and superfly. I was going to say squirt gun. I can see that happening, but then there's that whole pulling into a random garage part. So that kind of throws a little wrench in it. Sweepstakes. I know people enter sweepstakes as a hobby or whatever. I've actually heard of people doing that, so I think that's actually legit. Superfly. I could see a couple kids thinking they're going to be professional wrestlers. I don't know. It's down to squirt gun and superfly. I'm going to go with superfly.
Really?
Yeah.
Any reason in particular?
Because every time I say it, he giggles.
I mean, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Just the whole...
His name's Snuka, too.
Snicker Superfly.
Yeah.
You sure you
Superfly.
want to change your mind?
No, I'm good
You
with
sure?
superfly, yeah.
Okay. You probably picked it right now. But
I mean, here's your last chance.
the how big was the town when you pulled in the garage? How big was that town?
Greenville? Big.
Okay, so was it a very affluent neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm leaning towards that one because I can't imagine somebody just leaves their garage open. But that's why I asked. When my grandmother passed away in '96, my great uncle Joe came down, and my great aunt Louise live in Watts, in L.A. But they've lived there forever before it was a ghetto. And we live in Brush, so he was just astounded. We left like the lawnmower in the carport, So he would hide it, and he would like try and lock it all up. So that's if it's a bigger city, people are a little more edge of that. I think sweepstakes could be true. I don't know. It's
crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy enough that might be the true one. It's a trap. So I'm gonna go squirt gun. I think that's the Bullhucker, Rick. So you're gonna go superfly.
I'm superfly.
I'm gonna go squirt gun, Rick. Let's see it, man.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
You guys are both losers.
It's sweepstakes.
As you were going through, and I was thinking, that one dude said he was winning like 2 vacations a year. So I don't know, but
Okay, so you know the true part about this?
Yes, please.
It wasn't me. It was my wife.
Your wife won the Harley in the
She did all of this.
really before she was with you, or
Yeah.
wow.
I didn't do it. She did it.
So it's a borrowed story.
It's a borrowed story.
That's cool. She never kept any of it either.
Yeah, she sold it.
Are you guys the same age then?
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Huh, I'll be damned. Well, Rick, this is happening more and more to us. And I'll give you kudos. it's hard to fool both of us when we both pick two different, because obviously the odds are stacked against you then. And we split.
And I noticed I tried to look you in the eyes too. As I was
Yeah.
See,
speaking.
and I was looking at that. I'm like, he is not looking down. He's not looking away. It's the same through all the stories. So then when you told the last story, the little bonus story, I'm like, okay, this one I know has to be true. So I was trying to gauge out. I was like, man, nothing. This dude don't have a tell.
Did Matt Gordon coach you?
No, but what I did is I wrote it down so I can remember the details as much as could, and then I was like, okay. I was afraid that I was gonna. No, I was afraid that you were gonna get me to do the lie at the end, because then it'd be obvious to me, because it's shorter. I mean, I don't have as much details as I can with the others, but by having it in the beginning earlier, then you tend to forget that one.
Sure.
See, when you made the comment about it's like a made up or borrowed story, but there's a lot of a lot of details about it, I'm thinking, man, those first two were short, and Superfly is super long too. So this must be.
I guess we just skipped over that part.
And I did say, intentionally, I'm going to give you names so that you would be thrown on those, because you were going to think, oh, he's going to give me a name.
Oh.
So I tried to throw you off.
So that little boy cracked some ribs, and
It was true.
and never
True
went to
story.
your parents or anything like that. That's funny. Sorry, Jimmy. Hope you're all good, buddy.
So when we shut the cameras off, we're going to have him jump off the stage.
yeah, onto this table. Not this table. We still need it. So, well, congratulations, Rick. I haven't got around to being on the website yet and making the Hall of Fame, because there's probably been, you're going to be episode 43, I think. 43, 44, we're on there. I think maybe 7 people have done this to us.
Wow.
I know
Yeah.
Beltran was the first.
Beltran was the first, and he was like episode 9 or 10, so it took a while for someone to beat us. But yeah.
Yeah, we were feeling pretty good about ourselves till then. It was
Yeah,
like,
we thought no one's going to beat
he
us.
said,
Well-
if anybody ever fools both of us, we have to have a.
Hall of Fame page. Yeah. So, well, congratulations, Rick. That's awesome.
I feel like a winner.
Yeah.
Well, you should.
And here's the thing. I didn't. There's something new on the website I wanted to bring up too. It's a as seen on the Bullhucker podcast link. There's a little link, a drop down menu if you want to check out our website, bullhucker.com, and you can check out anybody that's been on the podcast. It's been something they're pushing something. There's been a few charities, a few businesses, or whatever. If you've ever seen anything on the Bullhucker you want to learn more about, check out that tab. It'll take you directly to their website or their Facebook or whatever have you. So if you do want to push something, you'd like to be on the Bullhucker podcast, please send me an email or talk to me or Adam. My email address is bullhuckerpodcast@gmail.com. Very original, thank you. And just let me know. I'd love to have you on. So we had to talk Rick into it, of course. Just kidding. Actually, we were where did we talk about it? Oh, it's CML.
Yep.
We went out to dinner and we just got to talk about the podcast. And you said, "Yeah, I'll come lie to you, Larry." I said, "Okay, well, that sounds good, Rick." So, Rick, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
being on, man.
Maybe we'll do it again. I got some more stories.
Well, okay, so we are going to do it again because we talked about this. So my plan is, knock on wood, if we make it to next October with this, I'd like to do a full month in October of ghost stories. And you said you have a few.
I've got some.
Like you, yeah. So the ghost of Jimmy when he died, that's the part he didn't tell us, you know?
I've got 2.
Really? Okay. Yeah, well,
So maybe it'll be 3 and 1 will be fake.
well, there you go. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm Louis Lunston.
But I'm Adam Vokey.
Thank you, Rick Keuroglian. See you. Peace.